What time is it? It's 5 o'clock on the Dream Clock. I'm Clarence Hill, and I want to thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope you've made it through all of the steps. Don't skip steps, by the way. Every one of them are significant. You're coming out at 4 o'clock where you were at the table with someone who does not look like you, someone who doesn't have the same kind of background or experience in life that you've had. And you've had the opportunity to hear stories, to open up your own home perhaps, or maybe you took it a little bit light and said, let's just meet at a coffee shop. Let's just talk in a neutral place. Whatever you did, I hope that you had the opportunity to hear stories. Now it's all about finding a guide. What am I finding a guide for? Because we're about to enter a process that we call immersion. That's where we actually enter the community and enter the community of those that are different than us so that we may serve, so that we can find a way to be a part of the solution. And in the process of serving, we need a guide. Immersion is a term that some people use who are going to find and discover, how can I learn another language the fastest way? And man, the best way to do it is just to head to that country or to head to that part of town where they only speak in that native tongue. And then you can't even order food. You can't even find the restroom unless you learn that language. Well, immersion is all about going into a community and serving with those who are not from your us world or your palace world. I use a language from 1, 2, and 3 o'clock. Get with that group so that you can be a part of the solution. We're not the group that talks and tries to speak down at others. We're the ones that focus and say, hey, what is the solution and how can we work together? Well, 5 o'clock is about finding a guide. Now you might be saying to yourself, I don't know anyone who would be willing to be a person that I could call and say, hey, when that news story came on or this latest crisis took place, how did that impact you? What perspective do you have? Again, we're not trying to get on the phone and tell them to think like us. We're trying to learn what perspective they have and how do they come to their conclusions so that we can know one another. Because just because we have different perspectives, it does not mean that the other one is absolutely wrong. It may be formed by culture and backgrounds and life experiences. So finding a guide is saying, hey, I want to enter your community. I want to serve. I want to be part of the solution. And I want to have someone who can walk with me so I don't say the wrong thing, so I don't offend someone unintentionally, so I don't burn bridges when I want to build bridges. So find a guide. Now, all right, I get it. You might be saying, hey, I don't know anyone. What should I do? Hey, this is great. I want you to think about the authors, the influencers, the heroes, the talk shows, the podcasts that you listen to. They're probably people that come from your us world. So here's the simple path to finding a guide. You may just begin to listen to a podcast or find an author or find a talk show of someone who comes from a different life background than you have. So find someone that you may not even meet personally, but you're learning, you're growing in your understanding of a different people group. It's 5 o'clock. There's so much more to tell about this. Sign up at dreamclock.org. This is where we'll be soon bringing out all of the full teachings on every hour, and you'll be able to sign up and go deeper. But for now, find a guide, find a talk show, find someone that can be a resource of information for you that can help you be more experienced in loving another community. I'm Clarence Hill, and this is the Dream Clock.